Hey everyone, it's Nolan from SYNQ, founder and CEO. With me I have
Ryan Cooney, VP Engineering at SYNQ.
So we've been playing this game about how do we get better customer experience in stores. A lot of stuff locked up, a lot of high queue, heavy stuff, big stuff in store, hard to find staff, a lot of out of stocks. So we've been persevering through this story of saying, okay, we're gonna build some digital tools, but it requires everybody to have a piece of mobile compute.
Exactly.
What are the three blockers that we faced over the last little bit here, Ryan?
Okay, that mobile compute, it's relatively expensive, right? It's a smartphone that we're talking about. Those could be $1,000 per employee. You've got hundreds of thousands of employees across a big organization. That's a massive capital expense. People recognize that they're going to get there, but it's hard to do that in one big shot.
Yeah, we've even heard from retailers that even if they had the funding, it would take them years just to roll that out.
Yeah, exactly. Also part of the rollout is people consider things like bring your own device, which has a whole new set of challenges,
right.
HR, logistics, there's a bunch of nightmares there. So that slows people down.
Okay.
The final thing that we see is that there's a huge investment in radios. People already have radios. Ones like this is a Motorola Clip 1043, really common. We see thousands of these things.
This thing's not new.
It's not new.
Okay.
It's a little beat up, this one, but there's a big investment in these things out there, and people are, they don't want to give up on that. And if they were to give up on it, okay, we'll throw that away and buy this whole new set. And it's really tough to use both at the same time because, all right, well, we'll just give our managers smartphones, but okay, now the managers are on a different network from the rest of your staff.
Right.
That's probably not a good solution.
Right. So I came back from a couple of shows, grocery shop in particular, with the grocers, and retailers love these radios. And they've got this big capital investment, and staff seem to like these radios. Familiarity is just where we are creatures of habit and comfort, right? So the matter was, okay, we can't beat radios, we got to join radios. So how do we solve this? How can we now run a platform whereby you can get notified on a piece of mobile compute or a radio? It can be both, or it can be just radios or just mobile compute.
Yeah, totally. So we take the radio system, closed system, that those radios talk to themselves. We take a look at something like a modern messaging platform like Microsoft Teams. All right, it can talk to itself, but it has some integration points. So we can get in there and we can send and receive messages on Microsoft Teams. We can see what's going on there. Okay, that's where sort of the core of our functionality is. But then we add a bit of edge compute inside your store, and we interface with these radios. Okay, now we're in both worlds, and then we just kind of glue those things together, and we're going to join the networks for you. So a message that arrives in Microsoft Teams, there's no reason that thing can't land in the radio, and vice versa. If you speak into the radio, we have to interpret that, and that's hard, but interpreting that can put that in the right message, right chat, perform the correct action within that messaging platform.
So you're telling me you can now take any digital generated request notification task and run that through an engine and turn it into voice.
Exactly.
Now, can I claim that over voice?
Of course you can.
I want to see this happen. So call buttons are not that sexy, but it's just kind of a necessary evil. So here's a call button, which is actually an IoT device. So this is just like the most easily configurable IoT device. You just got
there
a notification there.
Notification.
So the Zebra devices, if they're in a store, they're getting notified and you're getting notified. So
exactly.
You're going to claim this.
We're going to race to claim it. I've got it.
Okay, so now we've locked you in as that picker. And what I find interesting is that if you think about the people that are going to be doing most of these requests, fulfillment in stores, especially seasonally, it's going to be seasonal associates. They're probably the last ones that are going to get their hands on a Zebra or a Samsung or a Honeywell. So this is a really interesting use case, especially around Christmas or back to school or whatever that rush is. So we've got an update on the panel here. So I'm a customer, and I actually see that someone's coming, and I guess you've got something else to do.
Exactly, yeah, and everyone on the Zebra device sees that I've claimed.
You are on the way.
On my way.
And I'm assuming if you were just going to go directly there because they were around the corner, you would just jump right to on the way and just go right through?
It's smart enough to do that.
That's an amazing use case because, like I said, we're getting so much feedback that, that blocker that you talked about earlier is we don't have enough devices, and even if we had the money for enough devices, it would take us years to deploy and scale and train and so on and so forth. Very, very interesting. That is a very cool tool.
It is.
just allows this bridge, if you will, for retailers to kind of go through that technology. So this is interesting in a sense that we can have this, we're kind of calling this air traffic control. I can have that conversation on the radio and do things. Can I do more things? Can I maybe even look at this from like a agentic AI perspective of asking for, I don't know, give me an example.
Right, there's tons of them. Some is just general information about a store, but we can ask for real-time information about stock. So, yeah, product lookups and things like that. So
when you say product lookup, you're like, how many of these do we have in inventory?
Exactly. Yeah, so they got a SKU for a DeWalt drill here. So check stock on DeWalt SKU DCD793D1.
There are currently 3 units of DeWalt DCD793D1 20B Max compact brushless cordless hasp, an inch drill/driver in stock.
Wow.
Ton of detail. Three units in stock.
That's incredible. And I bet you I couldn't probably look at that on a handheld device faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my hands are free, helping the customer, stocking the shelves, doing all that stuff. You can get on the radio, and you can ask for some help in the warehouse or something, I guess.
That's right, and that's kind of where this is at tip of the iceberg right now is, okay, well, let's start creating content. We're not just responding, we're actually gonna create actionable tasks and assignments and things like that. So all of that becomes possible here.
So now everything that is in the Frontline Hero stack, I mean, we've done an IoT device, so this is like the simplest thing for IoT. It's just a plunger button on IoT, which is a call button, but it's low baskets. There's no buggies left in the corral generating all those voices. You can put that over the radio, you can claim that over the radio. I guess now we're probably now able to listen to all the radio traffic throughout the day. What can we do with all that valuable data?
Yeah, definitely. So everything that we've shown here is like real time. As I'm claiming something, we're updating the system, but we're logging all of that data. We're creating a transcript throughout the day. And if you think of the modern tools like co-pilots, they love a transcript. You know, we've got timestamps, we've got an actor that said something, and here's the contents of what they said. So that's a ton of valuable insight. Imagine yourself as a manager getting a roll-up at the end of the day. This was my, the major themes of my voice activity over these radios for the day.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I do voice calls on the video platforms, I usually hit the transcribe and it'll give me this really beautiful report. So this is really like, think about it as this is a tool for, this is what happened on this shift, and you pass that information over to the next person, and you probably likely could then aggregate a lot of data over a network of stores, districts, regions, years, seasonality, and you can actually start to learn from all of that just natural traffic that's happening that actually runs the box.
Yep, exactly, and actually circles it right back to one of the initial things we talked about is what are these barriers? And one of them is we've got people with radios. So at some point, your number of smart devices is gonna, it's gonna tip, and this is actually the kind of thing that would help you to learn that.
That is really interesting. And I guess as well, I mean, tell me if this is the art of the possible, but I mean, it could then also kind of identify things that are sensitive to the business. So someone just got assaulted in the store, or there's a health and safety issue. Like, could we auto-generate that to go out? And is that some of the stuff we're gonna be showing in NRF? Like, talk to me about kind of almost like an AI escalator that's listening to that traffic and prompting immediate responses to the district loss prevention manager that there's been an assault at store 662.
Yeah, or any sort of suspicious activity. That's it. We've got that traffic. We're asking a co-pilot to interpret this.
Wow.
Yeah. So we can ask it, what is the intent of this capture of text or this capture of audio? What was meant by that, and if it triggers, key things that we're looking for, that we would have to train it to learn those things. But if it can line up with things that ought to be escalated to a manager or escalated to a corporate level, there's no reason we can't do that.
So I'm a retailer, I have no mobile compute. How do I get started?
You can talk to us.
Talk to us.
We want to learn about your radios.
Yeah.
What have you got? What are your needs, and what sort of, are we looking at? How are we interfacing with customers? Is that the place? Do you just want it to have the transcript side of it? We're really curious to learn what people are, what their main pain points are. You can basically just get started with the handful of radios that you've got.
Right on. So at NRF, where can we see this?
You can be seeing this at the Samsung booth.
Right on.
We'll be demoing this live.
Fantastic. We'll put that on screen in terms of that Samsung booth to take a look at the radio AI and the agent, co-pilot, call buttons being used with radios, answering them on a Samsung device or answering on a radio. This is a really flexible solution. I like it. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thanks.